And so today I wanted to highlight kind of the problem that we have here in today's society. So, even though computing skills are one of the most sought after skills in the US job market, with demand growing 3 times the national average, research has shown less than a quarter of the computing jobs are held by women. And that really is a problem because we want to make sure that women are included in the design of these programs and products that a lot of them are consuming, right? And so the more that we have a variety of different ideas and innovations from a variety of different people in different disciplines, then the better that we can do in terms of our economic opportunities and the opportunities for the girls themselves. And so our real goal and mission is to be able to inspire, educate, and equip girls with those computing skills that they need to pursue 21st century opportunities. I'm going to try to present actually now if the internet's working a little bit better. Okay, and so our vision is to really reach gender parity in computing and technology sectors across the board. And we do that by providing free and flexible computer science programs for elementary, middle, and high school students. So it spans quite a wide range of ages as well. Our largest program that we have, as I mentioned, is our Girls Who Code clubs. They're completely free after-school programs for anywhere from 3rd to 12th grade girls to join our sisterhood of supportive peers and role models and to use computer science to change the world, right? So there's those 2 different elements. 1, teaching girls about computer science and those technical skills. 2, thinking about that idea of a community, that idea of collaboration and how they can work together to support one another and persist in that field. And thirdly, how can they take these skills and newfound, passions to change the world in a positive way, right? So how can they positively impact their community, which is extremely important as they think about what they care about and how to address those issues. All of the clubs can be led by facilitators. So it could be teachers, librarians just like you, parents, volunteers from any background or field. Most of our facilitators actually don't have any computer science experience. So you can actually do it without any technical, skills previously before. A lot of our facilitators learn to code alongside the club members. So because a lot of the materials are very self-guided in terms of tutorials, a lot of the work that you're doing, you can learn alongside with the students. You don't need to, do a lot of prep work. You don't need to, have a better understanding or very in-depth computer science background. And so you do not need to be hesitant for that. We also give lots of supports all the way through to just to make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful for you and your students. The programs that we have are broken into 2 different age groups. So we have 3rd to 5th grade clubs or 6th to 12th grade clubs. What you can do as a library, you can have a 3rd to 5th grade club, and then maybe you have a 6th to 8th grade and then a 9th to 12th grade, right? You can break it down in different ways depending on, your community, the library, capacity in terms of space that you have. So feel free to make it flexible and customizable to exactly what you need. So first I wanted to talk about our 6th to 12th grade clubs. And so this has actually been our biggest one so far. We've had over 3,000 clubs across the country last year. And we're really excited this year to expand it internationally as well to clubs in Canada and kind of all around the world. And so for the 6th to 12th grade clubs, everything is online based. They use our Girls Who Code HQ, which is our online platform. So all you would need is computers and internet access. You don't need to necessarily download anything or anything like that. All of the curriculum, we have over 120 hours. So once again, very flexible. It can meet different skill levels that your students have, as well as for yourself. And so there's a variety of different coding languages as well that they can choose from to really customize that experience for them. As they're learning these technical skills, everything is revolving around a culminating Girls Who Code project, which is a really cool project that they create by combining the technical skills they're learning through these tutorials and different kind of coding exercises, and combining it with a real world problem that they identify and that they want to solve. And so maybe they're creating a website on environmentalism or an app on, anti-bullying. It's a variety of different things that they can do. We've had another club who, was interested in showcasing the language of their Native American tribe that they were a part of. So that was really fascinating because they broke down different aspects of the language and taught people the importance of different words. So lots of different things that you can do based on the community and what they're interested in. In terms of logistics, a 6th to 12th grade club goes anywhere from about 1 to 2 hours per week after school, or it could be on the weekends. It could be, every other week. It really depends on your schedule. It usually goes anywhere from 10 to 15 or more meetings in total. So you could have it maybe just for the fall, just for the spring. You could do it the full school year. You could do it year after year. So it depends on your schedule once again. We do typically run during the school year, so anytime between like late August until about June. So we do prefer that you do it during the school year because you'll have a lot more supports as well. In terms of the 6th to 12th grade clubs model and general ideas of the curriculum, as I mentioned, a huge aspect of what we do is learning, more than just code, right? And so we have this idea of sisterhood. And so this is one of the biggest components that we have in our clubs model, where we want to make sure that club girls are joining a safe and supportive environment that they can feel free to explore, tinker, and learn, in that type of community. And so we want to make sure they're seeing themselves as computer scientists beyond the club experience. Afterwards, they become part of our alumni network, where we have about 90,000 girls, either current or alumni students across the country, who they can stay connected with, get different access to potential job opportunities, internship opportunities with our corporate partners like Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, AT&T, Walmart, Prudential, Disney, a variety of others as well. The second component is coding, right? And so a lot of the materials are self-guided tutorials that they'll be learning to really think about the concepts of loops, variables, and a variety of other aspects of programming languages, depending on what they are choosing to build. And as I mentioned before as well, we have beginner, advanced, and different types of levels for their skills in order to meet the needs and interests for the students. The last piece we have is impact, right? And so, as I mentioned, they're working on that Girls Who Code project to really think about how they're combining their passions with their skills. And so in a 6th to 12th grade club session per se, the first thing that they'll be doing is highlighting a woman in tech spotlight. So they'll be learning about a woman who's already in the tech space to have that inspiring role model that they can discuss and talk about and think about their experiences and how it might affect their own. Second thing they'll do is those self-guided coding tutorials and work on their project. And the last thing will be a stand-up, right? And so there's different types of kind of sisterhood activities to bring them all together. We have also stand-ups in ways that they share out any issues they've been having with their projects or questions they might be having as well. Here are 2 examples of the projects that they've created. The first one is Water Well. And so this was a really cool way that a group of girls had, really thought more deeply about water conservation and wanted to address the issue by, one, creating a platform where users can take a survey and see and assess what their water usage is typically. They'll compare that to what the average is, right, for their community or their area, and then give them suggestions on what they can do to address those issues. So it was a really cool way that they brought those different pieces together. The second one is Pillar, and so that was an app that they were in the process of creating, which was a 100% anonymous community to share problems, get support, and advice. And so users would be able to kind of post on there anonymously, support each other, in different ways to pay it forward, essentially. The other program based on age group is our 3rd to 5th grade clubs. It's actually completely brand new. We piloted it in about 30 different clubs this past spring, and we fully released it this year. Right now we have about 1,500 or so signed up so far for 3rd to 5th grade, but the number is definitely still growing, and we'd love to get you all involved as well. And so once again, completely free as well. We'll give all the curriculum, ongoing support, all those different pieces. It features our best-selling nonfiction book called Learn to Code and Change the World, where we will give you 5 copies of the book for your club, plus 1 book per student who enrolls. So you'll get the full set, as well as chapter guides for the librarians or other facilitators who are leading the club to go through as well. A meeting takes place anywhere from about 45 to 60 minutes per meeting, depends on the learning style, the reading level, and how you move along with your students, and what activities you choose. It could be during lunch, enrichment blocks, or after school. So for those of you working in a library that's not in a school library, you can definitely do it on the weekends, after school, during the weekday. It's up to you in terms of scheduling. This is slightly shorter as well in terms of the amount of times that you're meeting. It's anywhere from about 5 to 10 is usually the sweet spot. So completely up to you too. You could extend it a little bit, shorten it a little bit, up to you on how you want to do that. For a 3rd to 5th grade club, our 3 main components here would be 1, our books, where it also focuses on teaching students about loops and variables and conditions, and how we can introduce them to computational thinking and computer science. But we also want to show them those ideas of bravery and resilience, right? And so how are they approaching challenges, asking questions, approaching mistakes as well? How can we encourage that social emotional development in the students? The last piece would be computer science, of course. And so they're trying to do this in a fun and creative way. In terms of a club session, a 3rd to 5th grade club would first read an aspect of the book, have discussion questions that are sparking their curiosity and creativity related to the book, as well as to those ideas of bravery and resilience. And then lastly, they can do a creative challenge that could either be on a computer using Scratch, or you could do it entirely offline using unplugged activities. And so this is a great way too, if you don't have access to like a laptop card or a computer lab at that time that you need to, you can do unplugged activities without compromising quality of the program. In terms of our impact, we have reached over 90,000 girls to date. And so every year we want to grow and reach more girls to give them that opportunity, exposure, and excitement around these skills that they can use to go into any discipline, whether it's medicine, art, theater, business, whatever that might be. For our 5,000 college-age alumni so far, they've been choosing to major in computer science or related fields at 15 times the national average. And then specifically for our Black and Latinx alumni, they're choosing to major in CS or related fields at 16 times the national average, which is huge. And so, great way to encourage them and give them tools as they get into college and then the workforce afterwards. In order to get started, you need 3 different things. The first thing would be space. So it could be space in your library where you're hosting the club, and regularly each time that you meet. The second piece would be computers and internet connection for the 6th to 12th grade clubs. Chromebooks work fine, laptops, desktops, that's totally fine. You can use that as long as there's internet connection that's reliable. You wouldn't really need to like download anything by any means for any of your computers either. If you are a 3rd to 5th grade club, you'll need copies of our books, which once again, we ship you the books for free after you apply and get approved. The last piece you'll need is a facilitator who's 18 and over and will be responsible for the administration and leading the club curriculum. Once again, no technical experience is needed. So, if you'd like to do it, you are more than welcome, whether you have experience or not. Or you can also get volunteers in the community. So it's really up to you. If you are looking for volunteers in the community, we also have toolkits to help you, with flyers and things like that for you to, either look at it or share it out with your networks to recruit your own facilitators. We can also support you in that way. Especially as we're going through it, we definitely understand facilitator support is an absolute priority for us and for you, especially based on your capacity and competing priorities. We want to make this low lift as easy as possible. So we have lots of free materials and curriculum. We have a custom online training. So after you apply, fill out a background check or submit a background check from your employer and get approved. Then you get a custom online training for about 15 to 20 minutes. You'll have an online curriculum platform, which is the Girls Who Code HQ, which houses all of our information. curriculum materials, and extended computer science resources. So we'll also point you in the direction of other computer science resources to brush up on your own skills. The second piece, and I think one of the most important, is the idea of community. And so we have our club success specialists. You have one assigned per, partner. So as the state of North Dakota, your person would be Keely Howard. She's great, and she'll be able to support you in getting started. She'll reach out to you like a couple weeks before your launch date of when you're going to start your club, help you answer questions. They're kind of like our technical experts and experts on our curriculum, so they'll help you get started, either by phone, email, video chat. They're, no matter how big or small your question is, they're there to help. We have an online community with thousands of other Girls Who Code facilitators you can get connected with, and we have in-person and virtual events regionally, so it depends on the area and the interest, so definitely keep a lookout for your email on that. We also have logistics support, so we have recruitment toolkits, so flyers for you to help recruit students, different info sessions and outreach guides and all those different pieces you'll need to recruit either students or new facilitators if you need. We also have clubs funding. So in addition to everything being free, you actually can get free Girls Who Code t-shirts for you and everyone in your club. You can also get up to $300 as a grant to use on, additional materials, field trips, snacks, anything really to help enhance the club experience. You can also get earlier access to resources the earlier that you apply, so that way you can review it before you get started. So to quickly go over Girls Who Code HQ, this is generally what it looks like in terms of the items that we have within it. And on Girls Who Code HQ, there would be tons of these different types of components that you could click on for different types of resources. If you want a sneak peek of a few things that we offer, you can create a Girls Who Code HQ account today, actually. Click sign up, say you want to start a club or volunteer for a club, and then you're able to view it for the sample curriculum, or a sneak peek. It'll show you like one or two different things of it. In Girls Who Code HQ, we've broken it down into different pieces. This is more for the 6th to 12th grade clubs. The 3rd to 5th grade will look a little bit different. It'll go actually more by chapters. But this way you can see, okay, club plans. How can I make sure I'm designing and customizing my club? Women in Tech Spotlights. Where is this collection of women who I can highlight in my club to learn about? Learning, so the actual tutorials, planning and building, thinking about your projects. Celebrate, so thinking about activities to help you bond. You can help set up a website actually for your Girls Who Code projects. So you can have a website for your own club if you'd like to. And lastly, we have clubs fund information, signing up for your t-shirts, lots of fun things there as well, and additional support in our facilitator toolkit. Lastly, we have a section called announcements, where you can actually go through and communicate with your club members, or ask questions, or it's a kind of a nice forum for you and your students. So in order to launch it, all you need to do is fill out the application. If you go to this link right here, you'll go to like a general page of like how to start your club. You can click on apply here, and then it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to apply. After you apply, you'll get approved after you fill out a background check, or you can upload a letter that's saying that you've been background checked by your employer, and then you're all set to go. If you aren't able to have it in your space, you can always find a location near you if you'd like to host it that way, and use our toolkits as well to find a location near you to connect with. For our partnership, so we do have a partnership with the North Dakota State Library, and so we're really excited about that for this year in particular, as we expand and work more with students across the state. And so we heavily rely on partnerships with community partners. Here are a few of our other ones below as well. And so this is a way for you to launch multiple clubs within the network, but then also get partnership benefits, such as a designated community partner manager, who would be myself, to support the partner with regular communication, club updates, outreach support. So you basically have a second additional layer of support as well through the North Dakota State Library, as well as with me. You'd also have that designated club success specialist I mentioned for all the clubs within the network. So the entire state of North Dakota would have Keely Howard. you'd have access to a community partner fund. So in addition to the $300 every individual club can get, plus t-shirts, we have a community partner fund. So if you have 5 or more clubs associated with the partnership, the partner as a whole could get $500 for every 5 clubs started. This is great to either host an event, disseminate out as additional clubs funding. There's a variety of ways you can use that. And priority access to engagement opportunities like field trips and other things going on in your community. In order to affiliate yourselves, you on the page 4 of the application, you'll get to this question. It says, is your club affiliated with a Girls Who Code community partner? All you need to do is just put North Dakota State Library and type it in into the list, and they'll pop up. So that's how you connect yourself. If you forget, let me know. I can try to retroactively add you on the back end. But otherwise, just make sure to put in North Dakota State Library up there at the top. Okay, so I'd like to take a second now and for the next 5 or so minutes, answer any questions that you might have. So I'll stop screen sharing now at the moment. I'll keep the chat box open on the right as well for me. So if you want to add in questions there, or if you want to speak out questions, I'm also happy to help in any way. Okay, I'll wait another second or two if any of you have additional questions. In the meantime, I know one of our frequently asked questions is, what's a good size in terms of student participation in a club? And it really varies. It goes anywhere from about 10 to 20 students. I would say that's on average, but you can also have super successful clubs with like 5 or 6 students in it, or you could have ones as big as 100. I know in Alaska we had a club that was part of a school district, and they had about 80, which was huge. And it's hard to find that capacity in terms of the space and things like that, but it's definitely doable as well. So depends on your community if you wanted like 5 or 6, or you can have like 80. Really depends on you. Okay, as we wait for questions too, I'll give another anecdote. It was actually, it's really nice to see some of the different libraries across the country too who implement our programs. I was actually just talking to another partner that we have in Omaha in Nebraska, and it was really cool to see the things that they were doing with their club and the support system that they had with other clubs in Omaha as well. And so this library in particular, I think one problem is that they actually had too much interest based on the space that they had. And the staff capacity of the librarians too. And so they had one librarian who was supporting as the club facilitator, and then they had about 20, they kept it at 20 girls in the actual club. I believe they only kept it at middle school, so it was 6th to 8th grade. And what was nice there is that in order to kind of garner interest is they had a sign up, but they also had like a really big event where they had kind of like a design thinking type of activity where they had girls think about, what potential projects they can make that are related to, something that they care about. And so they kind of like made a mini Girls Who Code project during this time and kind of talked about it all together. And because they had the girls talking about it and getting excited about it, one, it was good to kind of push off and get excited about the first time that they're having their club. But also it was good to see, like who they thought was ready to join the club because they can only take 20. So I think there was maybe about 30 who were trying to join the club, but they narrowed it down to about 20 in that way. Some people use that type of event in different ways too, maybe more to garner interest and get more girls to do it versus kind of narrowing down, but definitely more up to you. We had another librarian in South Dakota who I was just talking to, and she actually had never coded before at all, and was kind of hesitant, I think, a little bit about computers in general and just getting set up. And the nice thing was that because she was saying that it was very approachable, easy, and user-friendly, plus the help of the club success specialist, they were able to, learn about computer science themselves and get that professional development, and actually started teaching like thorough coding classes all throughout as well. So it was nice to kind of see them build up their own portfolio and learn alongside the students. Okay, so I'm not seeing any particular questions, but if anyone has questions afterwards as well, I'm just gonna put my email into the chat. So if you feel free to copy it down. Once again, I'm Emily Young. I'm the community partner manager, and I'm supporting the state of North Dakota for our clubs and for those of you getting started. And once again, the only things you need to do in order to get started, if you'd like, is apply, put on that application that you're affiliated with the North Dakota State Library, and then you'll get approved, and it's pretty simple after that. But definitely encourage you to do it as early as you can so you could get those free t-shirts earlier, your books earlier, all those different pieces as soon as possible, and to get the club's funding, because you can apply for that in the fall and in the spring. Great. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Eric. I don't know if you have some last remarks at all, but it was such a pleasure to chat with all of you. I hope this was helpful and that it gave you some ideas about how to incorporate things in your library and to complement the things that you're already doing, which I'm sure is a lot. And so, you know, definitely, once again, customizable, pick and choose the things that you like. But we're just really excited that you're interested in our movement and getting girls involved as much as possible.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emily. I really appreciated your time with us here today, and I hope it will help build interest in this amazing opportunity for more libraries and schools throughout the state.
Yeah, thanks so much to you as well, and to everyone. I know that has been working hard at the North Dakota State Library. Excited about this partnership, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I can also, you know, share out the slide deck as well afterwards, if you'd like. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to hang up on the meeting now, but such a pleasure, and I'll talk to you all soon.
Take care.